Hey guys, how's it going? I'm here with the first of two best of 2020 videos. I wanted to get these done a bit earlier, and the reason being just that probably due to COVID there's been some delays, but I have all this stuff for this, which is the top 15 EPs, demos, and a split for 2020. The albums of the year list is going to be a top 60, it's going to be massive, and that took some working it down. There's been so much good stuff this year, but I'm waiting on one record for that before I can do it. So let's get right into this one. Also, a little book shout out, Rotting Ways to Misery, The Story of Finnish Death Metal, is a new book available from Cult Never Dies. This is not a paid promotion or anything, by the way. Just a book. I'm already firing through it. I read like 70 pages overnight. Massively important book. Garden of Ice, especially, one of my bands, is hugely influenced by the Finnish death metal scene of the 90s. So yeah, if you want some reading material over the Yule period, then that's just a little bonus thing. So, while we're talking of Cult Never Dies, the first is Yoth Iria from Greece, featuring members of Rotting Christ and Necromantia. Of course, very legendary bands from Greece. And this EP is naturally something special, as the Greeks always have a very unique sound, brought by Repulsive Echo and Cult Never Dies. There's a vinyl and a cassette, I believe. It's 3 tracks of very melodic and technically proficient black metal. I'm not going to talk tons about every release, but yeah, if you like stuff like Dissection, but then of course the Greek bands, definitely a good starting point. Next up in the CDs is Rothadas, I believe from Hungary, or that part of the world anyway, featuring members of Cryptworm. This is just some great spectral, eerie death doom, very cavernous and creepy sounding, really good riffs, tons of atmosphere, but still deathly heavy and brutal. Now, a band that I think is hopefully going to be on quite a few, we have Bolzer with Lesa Majesty. This is 4 tracks, 3 kind of black death tracks and 1 ambient track, which is really cool as well from this band. And as per usual, we have a very unique Bolzer stamp with the kind of massive riffs. Unfortunately, the guitars are a bit lower in the production, which was the only thing that kind of held it back a bit for me. Cool, big fold-out digipack. But yeah, other than that little foible with the production, the vocals sound massive. The choruses are really powerful, especially the lyrics are, as usual, fantastic, and there's just tons of great stuff from them. Now we have a surprise appearance from Sarvekas, something that was not on my radar, but thankfully I was sent to check out. And these are a Finnish black metal band who play more in the vein of the Icelandic scene, which we will hear more about later in this video. Of course, it's me. But yeah, they have that kind of dissonant, quite kind of drugged out, spacey kind of sound. Definitely a good one if you like that. Now we shall do some cassette tapes. So talking of Iceland, I am going to first show Drottinn with their debut cassette demo, I Helgum Thirtha, everything's TH I think in Icelandic, Ioma. This is death metal from Iceland, which I guess is a bit different in a country very much known for black metal, featuring members of Mistaming and Svartadalthi and some others, I'm sure, on Territor Possessions. This is definitely still got that black metal feel, but it's still very firmly death metal, more in the vein of stuff like DGL, the Uppsala kind of death metal stuff maybe. Necrowretch maybe in there too. It's just a really good piece of death metal with lots of occult tinges from the black metal side of things. Now, at the other end of the death metal spectrum, from Caligari Records, we have Muscipula with Little Chasm of Horrors. Now, of course, that's a Little Shop of Horrors reference with the carnivorous plant theme. Something I think is actually a really cool idea, as I mentioned when I talked about these guys before. If you like stuff like Mortician, but maybe a bit more doomy sounding, with really fat bass tones, like overdriven beyond comprehension, really tight riffs. I think the drums are programmed, but that's obviously no foible for me as a musician who's generally solo in my ventures. So yes, really kind of pounding, skull-crushing, just meaty death metal. Definitely a good one that I know a lot of you death nutters will love. Now we have some raw black metal, which is a genre I sort of am in two minds on, from Canada. Now, some of these bands end up just sounding like nothing with reverb attached to it. Nocturnal Prayer is not the case. This is the real deal. One of the bands that to me really stands out as something special. They also recently did a split with Abduction, which a lot of people have been digging. It's a great split. But this is their, one of their 2 cassette demos that were compiled by Inferno Profundis, but this was on Extinctionist Records. Now, it's very bleak, but also powerful. There's a lot of heavy drumming, really kind of memorable, haunting riffs, more akin to maybe French black metal, and the kind of very shrill vocals you'd expect with this kind of stuff. I really like it. I think it's quite impactful. And now, more death metal from Gutvoid. This is the cassette. They kindly sent me the cassette and the CD. We have 3 tracks here on their demo on Blood Harvest Records, which the logo is placed there. If you like stuff like Blood Incantation, then immediately this should appeal, and Cryptic Shift from here in the UK. There's a lot of interesting riffs. There's some very cool ways the melodies kind of entwine with these really brutal passages to give a bit more kind of depth and spaciness to the sound. And Astral Bestiary is just a really killer demo tape that I think I've seen a few people post the usual candidates, but I think it definitely deserves more recognition and is one of the better tapes to come out this year. And last up, this one I waited a bit on, but Vonlaus with their EP fucking hate Icelandic Schleimere Akvathana, I think. Apologies, and if anyone in Iceland happens to be watching this, this is on Mistis Chaos and another logo that I don't recognise. Apologies. But this is some stunning Icelandic black metal, which, much like Mistheming, has quite a rocky pace to it. Some very melodic, almost dissection-like riffs. Dissection are getting mentioned a lot in this video, for good reason anyway, I think. But yeah, these have really memorable kind of groovy tracks. If you enjoyed the newish Mistheming album, this will definitely appeal. As usual, features some of the Icelandic scene, presumably from Reykjavik, but I might be wrong there. I didn't really do my research on that, but it's just a great black metal tape. Definitely one to check out. Now we'll go on to the 12 inches. First we have Engulfed from Turkey, who play really cool death metal with some kind of doomy and blackened touches, maybe more in the vein of Dead Congregation, Grave Miasma, Cruciamentum, those kinds of like UK death metal bands that are really good. Maybe some Adoria in there. It's very... You can notice the similarities from their other bands like Burial Invocation and Hyperdontia. There's definitely some of that present. Some Phrenolith in there too. But it's just really good. Like, I was really bowled over by how kind of eerie and encompassing the sound is, and just how well the riffs flow. The songwriting on here is absolutely superb, and the musicianship really delivers too. So if you like death metal that has plenty of balls to it but also atmosphere, this is probably going to be a contender, and I really look forward to hearing more from Engulfed. And it's great to see the Turkish scene doing so well. Turkey, of course, has some phenomenal bands, so I'm really happy to have a band from maybe a less obvious country than, say, like Denmark on this video, because, you know, we do like to see the scene spread the sickness. Now we have Cryptworm, another, that was on Meisako and Ojo, or Oyo, or Oho, I don't know. I may kind of work with Jesus, but Spanish is not my forte, so leave me the fuck alone on that. Cryptworm's reeking gunk of abhorrence is pure filthy death metal in the vein of Undergang and those kinds of really filthy, swampy bands. Maybe some of the better Maggot Stomp stuff, which we'll get onto next. And Cryptworm is just great. You can tell they're a talented musician behind it because we had Rothadas in here too. While that delivers more kind of doomy, eerie stuff, this delivers just stomping, festering, disgusting, gross death metal. The kind that sounds like it crawled out of a sewerous kind of graveyard to vomit everywhere and then just disappear again. It's nice and short, but plenty of groove to it. It's very catchy. Really great live band too. If you haven't had the chance to see them live, especially as they're UK based, I saw them with Undergang. Definitely check them out. Really good band. Now, another Meisako release, because Meisako has absolutely fucking killed it this year, but split with Maggot Stomp, we have Mortal Wound from the States and Gutless from down under in Australia, with absolutely superb artwork. This is probably one of my favourite album covers this year. Now, the Gutless side, what you get is that kind of filthy, crusty 90s death metal that just is so abrasive and pure and unfiltered. And then from Mortal Wound, some slightly grindier stuff, but definitely still in that 90s kind of camp, like the American bands, definitely. Just phenomenal death metal. Not much to say about this, other than it is just pure old school death metal madness, the way it should be, and these two bands complement each other so well. Definitely worth picking up this split. Now, the last of the Meisaku bundle, we have Hyperdontia, who are, of course, from both Turkey and Greece, I guess. Denmark, sorry. And this is their Excreted from the Flesh 7-inch. I've also got their split with Mortiferum on the way, which is killer, but I figured I would go with this because it's arrived. And if you like Hyperdontia, which I'm sure after Nexus of Teeth and A Vessel Forlorn and this, I think everyone's going to have this on their video at some point, and lists and such. Just a killer slab of old school, maddeningly tight, somewhat technical death metal, the way it should be. I've just realised I did not state this video and the end of year albums is not going to be in any kind of order. They're just the top 15 in this case, and then only the number one pick will have a rank, I guess. But we have Anthropophagous, another Blood Harvest release, just, again, filthy, gross death metal. We've had plenty of this on the video, but there's just been so much churned out this year. I've had to cut so many good records out of this list, so if there's something amazing that's not on any of my videos, I assure you it's not lack of quality, just lack of time and wanting to make these videos somewhat a finite length. But Anthropophagous Spoiled Marrow is just great, gross death metal that's found its way onto my turntable a lot of times this year, so it's on here. Definitely check those guys out. And now, drum roll if you will, we have Blood Star with The Fear, their debut 7-inch release on Shadow Kingdom Records, with B-side Tortured Earth, my favourite song to come out this year. Now, what is Blood Star? If you're not aware, they're old school heavy metal. I don't like the term new wave of traditional heavy metal, so I'm going to stop using it, because that implies that there is maybe some watering down in quality, which there just isn't here. You know, if you like Angel Witch, Saxon, Diamond Head, Maiden, Priest, all the classics, except look no further, because these two tracks are just blistering heavy metal with no holds barred. Like Maddie's vocals especially really stand out to me as something I think you can tell apart from the other bands doing this kind of stuff. The riffs are amazing, the songs are catchy, it's just a perfect way to come onto the scene, and when their full length drops, I'm sure it will absolutely slay. So if you're going to check out one band from this video, make it Blood Star, but ideally all of them, because everything on this video is crushing, I can assure you. And with that, we have my top 15 EPs, demos, and split of the year, which I'm going to probably not put in the title. But yeah, albums of the year list will be coming up soon whenever the hell a certain LP from a certain band turns up, which I'm sure is no fault of the label, hence me not mentioning it. But until then, stay metal, have a good Yule or whatever festivity you choose to celebrate, and keep an eye out for my albums of the year video coming soon.